What's going on, guys? Mix with another buggy deck profile. This is going to be the third one. It's like an emergency update list. People were asking because they noticed a couple of different cards, specifically the Impel Down package. So we're gonna name this Impel Down Buggy. Impel Down Buggy. I recently brought it to tournament. I like the way it ran. I love the two engines. I love how they flow together. They mesh pretty well together. My biggest concern, I guess you could say, with the deck is that it runs a lot of non-counter, Ivankov and Luffy specifically. So I kind of had to manipulate the numbers, and this is what I've been doing, and I've been testing on Sim. And this is the deck list that I came up with, and I'll be testing today in tournament to see how I like it. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. Without further ado, we have the man, the myth, the legend himself, Buggy. He is a searcher for Impel Down specifically. We have 12, I think like 10 to 12 targets in deck. So you might be whiffing off of him. So really play him if you need to see like one of your puzzle pieces, like the Ivans, or if you want to grab like a vanilla croc to go croc and a croc. If you're like, man, I need something to just play on that following turn. Bucky's really good for that. Yeah, so we have Searcher, also bounceable off the Jozu. So like if you are on your 7-on turn, he's already established, you go Jozu, and then you bounce back the Buggy, and then hard play Buggy, and then search for what you need again. I mean, it's just double search is kind of nice. Can't really be mad at it. We're running 4 Mr. 3. I think this is always going to be mandatory in the deck. There's no reason not to run Mr. 3. It searches Cross Guild or Baroque's works. Very important, that second part. I'll say that in every single video. Please do not forget he searches Baroque works. It is so important because you can still grab your 2K counter, Mr. 2, and whatnot. So yeah, just the best searcher in the deck. We're on a 1 of Kaya. People will probably ask, why are you playing 1, not 2? This deck list for me specifically is really tight, and I'll get to where you could bump her up towards the end of the deck list video. This is what I'm comfortable with. I'm a very toolboxy type of player, even for yellow or all decks that I play. I play a lot of 1-ofs, 2-ofs, 3-ofs. It's just me. I'm weird. So please update this list to your liking, and I'll probably tell you where you can add or subtract your ratios. We're on a 1-off stage. God, I wish I could bump this up to 2, but it's like I said, my list is so tight. If I see it, I see it. If I don't, I don't. I'm not really mad at it. The deck already has a lot of natural cycling, so I mean,
yeah, and plus you have many other ways to find that card as well.
Exactly. Yeah. Then we have the 2 of that I will probably always keep a 2 of, Doflamingo. There's probably an argument to be made. Oh, why don't you run the Margaret? Why don't you run the Richies? My argument will always be that Shanks is such a terror that having them to play 2 cards to out this, like if they want to go Otama into whatever to KO this, or if they want to waste their 2 cost event on this, sure, why not? I'll swing with it. I'll play around it. Like I'll add a Dawn to this, swing 5 if they want to reduce it, and then pop it with the effect. Okay, like sure.
Or potentially waste a turn where they just waste a Beckman on it.
Exactly. They have to answer this card with multiple cards, or they have to get really creative with outing the Dofi. So this is just specifically for Shanks, because Shanks is top tier, right? I mean, like everybody's playing it. You're not going to avoid it. You're going to run into it eventually.
Yeah.
It's kind of the bane of this deck's existence, right? I mean, like they just establish a lot of bodies faster than you and have a lot of really good removal. So making it hard for them to remove your blockers, like your Richie, or if you're running Marguerite, you just don't want to be running Marguerite. I tell people not to run that card. It gets hard punished by a lot of cards, believe it or not. So Dofi is just a better option. You can stack your cards. If you know the next 5 cards in your deck is going to be absolutely terrible, throw it to the bottom, start cycling. Or if you have an absolutely stacked top hand, go crazy with it. You know what I mean?
He has a lot more versatility than something like you're saying, Margaret or Richie, just because they're vanilla as well. He gets you a blocker and a little bit more. Can let you dig, see what you're working with.
Exactly.
You got some bricks coming up. You need a little bit better. Put the bitches in the bottom. See how it goes.
I feel like with this deck specifically, you want to just be more calculated in the way you're moving about with your deck, as opposed to just, oh, I just want to keep drawing cards.
Yeah, it's too boxy, but you still think about what you got to do. You still got to pilot it in a proper way.
Exactly. And then we were on the infamous 3-of Sanji's Pilaf. I don't think I'll ever change this.
Until you get a 4th.
If you guys want to play a 4th, be my guest. I don't think I'll ever play 4. I think 3 feels really good. I don't want to see it. I want to see it in my life. If I see it on Odd Curve, it just feels good. I'll keep this if I'm going first. If I see a Searcher and a Pilaf, I'll, like 9 times out of 10, keep the hand, even if it's completely terrible, because I can just cycle, draw, filter, you know. So yeah, we're on 3-of Pilaf. Like I said, you can go to 4, but that's just preference.
Yeah, more of a win and more.
We're on 2 Pudding. Up this from 1. No longer wanting it at a 1-of, because people are just not respecting this card enough.
That's for sure.
People will go up crazy in hand size and be like, oh, Pudding me. Yeah, I'm gonna Pudding you, actually, and I'm going to rip 4 or 5 cards hopefully from your hand, and that'll be my turn.
Yeah, a good example is just like you're saying Shanks, because since it's hard to match up, if they're always just being aggressive, trying to punch you every single turn, not really trying to build anything, you know, they're going to get punished by having that big hand size.
Right.
And most of the time it's going to be a lot of non-counter. If they're sitting on the counter, then you might just put all that counter back in their deck. They draw all the non-counter.
Exactly.
Good luck.
Exactly. And if it's really good if you know they searched like a boss card, a boss character.
So
if,
somehow you know they put on a Rayleigh or whatever it is, you know.
Yeah, and you're just like, no, I don't really want to deal with that later. So
sure.
you just go ahead and Pudding them.
Reliable.
I don't think Pudding really needs too much of an in-depth explanation. 2 is very nice.
Yeah,
I like that ratio. We're on a 2 Mr. 1. Like I said, this list is really tight. We cut one of the Mr. 1s. I'd say honestly run 3. I don't think 2 is correct for most decks. I think you definitely want to be on 3. I'm just looking to get my other alt art in the meantime.
I guess the only thing you could really change, I guess, when it comes to the Mr. 1s would be changing out the P-Laws for the Mr. 1s, just because they essentially accomplish the same thing.
Exactly.
But one's a body.
Exactly.
And I think that's pretty the only much argument you can have for it.
No, 100%, yeah. This card could be 3-4, honestly. If you don't like, you know, running just miscellaneous blockers or whatever, I still think you need blockers in this deck, don't get me wrong, for the late game, but if you're wanting to cut certain areas, I can definitely I can see why. We're on a 1-of Croc. Also could be 2. It gets played off of the Ivankov. It gets played off of Croc as well. So this card gets played off of 2 different cards. If you want to up this, be my guest, up it, because I'm probably going to up this in the Impel Down package in the future after I do a little bit more crafting with the deck and whatnot. So definitely a really good card. I think it's very versatile if you're running the Impel Down package. We're on a 3-of Mohi, just a 2K counter. We don't really cast it unless we have no other choice, but mainly it's just a 2K counter alongside Kabaji. Also just a 2K counter. The effect comes up very rarely where it doesn't get KO'd by battle. If they swing into it with a full board established, you just give them the thumbs up. 4-of Searchable Impel Down card, or Mr. 3. This is the card that meshes really well with the deck. It could be hard played off of your Croc. It can be searched 2 different ways. It's 4-of. 100%.
Yeah, so with 4-of the Mr. 3, with Mr. 2s, the Kabis and the Mochis, that makes for 10 plus the Kaya, so it's 11 2K Kaya.
11 2Ks total in the deck.
Yeah, odd, but not anything crazy. That's still a good number because you're still running double digits, not excessive.
Exactly. If you wanted to like up the Kayas by replacing something else within the deck, totally up to you. You guys go crazy. This is just what's worked.
This is your blueprint.
Yeah, this is what's worked for me and what I like. Inazuma. I think Inazuma is such a funny card, dude. Being able to just comfortably just rip cards from your hand and not really getting punished for it is always funny, right? So like if you're trying to save your bodies that are established on field, and you just want to rip your hand because you can afford to, right? Like go down to 2, and go back up to 4.
Yeah, you're in a position where board presence kind of matters more than actual hand size, and you know that you can re-up that hand size given such cards as the Izuma, or just drawing into a peel-off. Who knows, you can just go Inazuma at the end of the turn, draw, so you draw a peel-off, boom, you got it. Back in the game like nothing ever happened.
Exactly, no, 100%. The next 2 of is Monkey D. Luffy. This card is so good. Trash 2 and bounce a 4 cost or less. It meshes well with the Inazuma if it's already established, and it pairs very nicely with Ivankov, where you go Ivankov, play out Luffy, or play out Inazuma. This is the Impel Down package combo. It's very nice. It felt really nice playing it in tournament. Seeing Ivankov, and they're just like, what the heck? Like, now I have to deal with a potential double attack that bounced my 4 cost, that can bounce my 4 cost or left every turn when attacking or on play.
This Luffy is pretty disgusting, you know. It gives you a better matchup into block because, you know, most of the blockers are around the range of 4.
Exactly.
There are other occasionals that get out the Sabo and things of that nature, but for the most part, it's always going to come up. You're always going to have some options. Or even then, they're just going Lucci or something along the lines, just say bye-bye, hello.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I think 2 is, like, really nice. You know, I don't think you want to be on 4 of these cards. 3 at the most. If you're able to squeeze in an extra one here and there, I think it would be okay. Just understand that you're running a lot of non-counter at that point, and the deck already has like a lot of non-counter in my opinion. That brings us to our next card that is literally just so insane. It's mostly played in the Dofi deck, but it is Jozu. I love Jozu. You have so many targets to bounce off with it in this list. I feel like if you're not running Jozu in this list, you probably shouldn't be playing this deck. Seriously, I mean, like, think about it. Like, if you don't really want to balance your bigger bodies,
but your deck just has so many little targets, and well, you can make use out of it.
Right.
And what's the lowest cost of it? Return at 6 or less, and one other.
Yeah, so you can return anything from your hand.
Yeah, so like even just a really crappy hypothetical 10-drop trend, you just go pudding on them and you just go Jozu. Like they have like a crazy throw on board, something you don't want to deal with. You just go Jozu, bounce it back, and pudding or something like that. You know, something along the lines.
Right, like you can
have the distinguishing's mixed up, but you get what I'm trying to come at.
No, absolutely. This feels really good. I've done Kaya, and then later Jozu bounce the Kaya back to hand, and then keep milling, keep bouncing, and just loop, or just searching my puzzle pieces that I need for the deck.
Yeah.
Jozu is so good. Such a good blue card. I wouldn't be mad if you guys wanted to up him to 3 as well.
Yeah, because like you said before, that's why you want to run of Kaya, Jozu, bounce it back, get your 2K back in hand,
exactly.
Drop it back down.
I don't feel bad hard playing this in a tournament. Like, it's 1 less 2K, yeah, but like...
If they want to waste the time to KO, then waste the time to KO.
Exactly.
If not, then I'll probably get some value off in late run.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to play your Kayas. If you're bumping the number of Kayas up, do not be afraid to just hard capture. It's what the deck does. It filters really well. We are on arguably the second best card in the deck, but it's kind of scary because we're on 2 now. We're on 2 Mihawk. We bumped this card because just lack of counter. I'm focusing on a going wide and removal strategy over a walling up with a bunch of blockers strategy. It has, I mean, obviously walling up with a bunch of blockers is definitely really nice, and you guys can conform this list to however you see fit, but this is just my overall game plan and strategy with the deck, is just to poop out a bunch of crazy bodies that have a bunch of different effects, and then remove bodies in the process.
Yeah, I wish I'd at least go for 1 on board state while having a little bit more advantage.
Exactly. And then that brings us to, my opinion, the best card in the deck. The man, the myth, the legend. It is the Crocodile. This card is insane. If you're not playing 4 of them, don't play this deck. This card is so good. The best card in the deck, hands down. On play 1 cross guild, 5 cost or less. Yeah, do I need to say more? You can play, or I'm sorry, Baroque's Works or cross guild.
Baroque's Works or cross guild.
Yeah. So that means you can play your Crocodile, or he's former Baroque's Works. I wonder if he can actually play.
I guess it depends on which part of the parentheses.
See, I never had this come up, but maybe you could croc on croc, or maybe he has to be Brokesworks. Actually, never looked into it.
It has to be proper Brokesworks.
Oh, does it have to be proper
yes.
Brokesworks? Okay, it's still not terrible in my opinion.
Right.
I wanted to run this croc because I wanted to have an extra card to play potentially off of the item top. So we have all of these targets that we could potentially
just off of
play.
those 2 cards alone, you have a total of 6 targets that can shit out 2 additional bodies.
Exactly.
So, how does you go wide?
Yeah, I just like this because it's an extra target as well to search off the buggy. So I mean, vanilla 5/7. I don't think you can really go wrong with that, in my opinion. That's why if you guys want to bump this for the Impel Down package specifically, I think 2 would be a correct number, honestly.
Yeah, got a really interesting mid curve as well, because most of your targets are just mid range, and then your high end is just more advantage than it is actual high end at the moment.
Exactly. And then we have the best 10 drop in the game, 10 drop Buggy.
Yeah,
still on 3 of them. I think 3 could be 4 if you want to make the room for them. I wouldn't be mad at it. I don't think you should be playing anything less than 3. I think it's incorrect with the deck. If you have an opinion otherwise, let me know, because I would love to hear the argument where less than 3 Buggy is solid. This is a inherent red rock that is searchable. I mean, need more? Do I need to say more about it?
And on a worst occasion, he's just a free 12k body.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not all too bad for 5 Dawn essentially. It's
super good in the black.
To drop him generically.
Yeah, if you have Blackbeards running rampant, I would highly suggest running 4. Like if your locals is like 2 to 3 Blackbeards, don't even fucking question it. Just go ahead and play the 4. You know what I mean? Like he's definitely. There's some flex room for an additional Buggy.
Yeah, 3 is just comfortable. It's just right. One not too many.
Exactly. We are on the 1-0 cost. I think 1 is fine. If you want to run 1 more, I would say you could probably get away with 2, but 1 feels... 1 is a weird number for me. I like running 1 of, so
yeah,
1 of Gum Rain for
it's
me
also
is
Impel
nice.
Down, so it's searchable. It's not like it's just sitting there and straggling around in your deck waiting to get found. It's at least searchable, and plus you have other options of being able to draw into it. So it's not like you're not going to see it.
Exactly. And then we have the newly introduced Gravity Blade. This card is so good. It out-tempos your opponent. If you go on your 5 Dawn turn, croc into whatever, and then they go wide, like say they go Jinbei into Weevil, and then you just go following turn Gravity Blade, and then you have they have to establish a board while trying to remove your board, so it gives you the advantage.
Really good plays into blue, and really good plays into black.
Exactly. And if you already have a board established and you need to remove a big threat, which is probably going to be the case, Red Rock. Get rid of your Blackbeard, get rid of your Shanks while not having to go -2 for the Buggy. That's the only reason why I like playing it as a 1-of. If you already have, a big board, a decent board established, and you don't want to have to, commit to, throwing out a Buggy for it, and going -2.
Yeah, because
it's just better.
You're going to go wide, put out some bodies on field, and then have to establish the Buggy. When you can, why do all that when you have a card that essentially is the same thing?
And like, say you're on your 9 Dawn turn, have a decent board established, you can go Red Rock and then wall up. Play out your blocker, or search for what you need.
Yeah, you still have some leg room to do everything.
Yeah, so 1 Red Rock, I think that's comfortable for me. And yeah, this is the Impel Down Buggy list that you guys have been asking about. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments section about how your experience, if you do end up running this version of the deck. I had a ton of fun with it personally. And yeah, do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, only question I would probably ask for the most part is, what do you think your difficult matchup might be?
Ooh, difficult matchups. So
we spoke a lot about Dolphin. We spoke a lot about Shanks as well. So
yeah,
obviously those kind of weigh on your mind.
This deck can be conformed to whatever is running rampant in your locals. Like I said earlier, like if you have a large Blackbeard matchup, run more Buggies. Honestly,
yeah,
you want to see this card, because like if they ever not respect you having this card, they just get punished immediately for it, because you just have a 10-12 vanilla for the rest of the game.
Yeah, like you said, the deck is enough toolboxy for you or anybody else to just basically take whatever they see here and be able to tweak it to whatever likings that they have.
Exactly.
There's certain cards that a lot of people could see and they think that could be switched about, so that's up to them if they want to do it.
I would say if you have like a really dominant Dofi locals, I would definitely bump up the grab blades, because like I said before, you can do on your $5 turn, you can go croc into a Mr. 1, and then draw 2, and then on your following turn, if you just have a lot of these, you just remove their board and just start punching their face. But yeah, this is the deck list. I hope you guys enjoy, and let me know in the comment section what you would like to see Buggy do next. Thank you and enjoy.